You import data from files into MATLAB, either interactively for one-off analysis via the current directory browser, or programmatically for automated import by using the file I/O functions at the command line or as part of a MATLAB program. You can import standard as well as arbitrary or custom formats. To import a file interactively, such as this Excel file, which we can first preview outside of MATLAB, you right-click and choose Import Data, which opens the Import Wizard. You can either import the column headers, numerical data, and textual data as separate variables, or the data columns as separate variables, using the column headers as names. You can preview a variable, and you can also optionally generate the MATLAB code required to import the file programmatically. Here we see the imported data. We will save the generated file and remove the current variables with the clear command. We can call the generated file at any time later by passing in the file name. Many other standard format files can be imported interactively with the Import Wizard in a similar way. To read more complex or non-standard format files that are not supported by the Import Wizard, to have more control over importing options, or to automate the importing of one of many files, use one of the file I/O functions. You can find the supported file types in the standard MATLAB package, with associated functions to read them in the documentation. Or you can browse for them by clicking here and choosing File I/O. For example, the function to read text files that contain comma-separated values that are numerical is csvread. And for numerical text files with other delimiters, the function is dlmread. The function to read an Excel file is xlsread. You can optionally specify other parameters like worksheet number and cell range. For text files, which contain strings and numerical data, such as this 4-column comma-separated values file, or to read parts of a text file, use the text scan function. All functions that can read parts of a file must be preceded by the fopen function to return a file identifier. This is then passed to the file reading function, in this case text scan. With TextScan, you can specify how to read each column with a format string. The function help can show you how to specify this. We will read in a combination of numbers and strings. We will read in the first column as a number, the second as a string, and the next two as numbers. You can then optionally specify the number of lines to read, the header lines to skip, and the delimiter, which in this case is comma. You then need to close the file by passing the file identifier to the close function. Here we see the data is returned to the workspace as a cell array of columns of data. You can search for functions to access data from other standard file formats or application-specific formats in add-on products. For working with non-standard or binary data files, see the low-level file I/O functions, which have similar functionality to C file I/O functions. This concludes the demonstration. Try these features in MATLAB now, or browse the documentation for more information.